What's up, guys? Okay, guys, so I'm just getting off of work and it was a busy night. I'm telling you, as a nurse, I'm noticing that my nights fly by all the time. I don't know if it's because I'm slow and I'm just like super busy. That's probably what it is. But it flies by. Before I know it, it's 3 o'clock. And what I'm learning to do to kind of improve my time management is to not wait until a later time to do things like dressing changes, because the funk hits the fan around 4 or 5 o'clock, and I don't want to be stuck charting or taking care of unfinished things because I didn't manage my time a lot better. But anyway, this video is about my orientation, the orientation process and my preceptorship. So I am on my 12th week of being a nurse and orienting. For the first 5 weeks, I oriented on day shift, and on week 0, which is just training with their educators and doing skills check off, and we also had to take a test. We had to take a psych test, we had to take a med-surg test, a pharmacology test, just like nursing school. But I think it was easy because I got like all 80s and 90s on it. Some things I didn't know, like some medications is my kryptonite. It was so hard for me in nursing school to memorize medications, and I'm just so happy that I didn't have a separate pharmacology class, because if I did, I probably would have failed it. So our pharmacology was built into our program. So if we were working or studying a body system, the medications will go with it. That's how the program is set up. So we didn't have like a separate pharmacology class. Thank God for that, but we did have the ATI proctored pharmacology, and I rocked it. And I was shocked because, you know why? No, I'm not shocked, because I started preparing for pharmacology ATI in the summertime before the semester started, because I knew that I needed extra help and I wouldn't have a lot of time to devote to pharmacology along with clinicals and the class, the med-surg class, the med-surg class. I think we took pharmacology, med-surg too. So I'm telling y'all, if y'all in nursing school and you have a summer off or you have weeks off, you continue to study. Don't just wait until the semester and be like, okay, I'm just gonna study. No, you continually study. You plan to succeed. I'm telling you, if I didn't study on my breaks, I probably would not have made it, because for me it takes extra time for me to get it, repetitive all the time to get it, because I'm a little slow at certain things, because it has to be, if it's something that is being explained to me and I have to read it and I'm not actually doing it, I'm not gonna get it. I have to do it to get it. So I can read something until I'm blue in the face, and it won't stick unless I put my hands on it. So if it's something that I can't put my hands on, it's going to take a long time for me to get it. So I have to prepare in advance. So I did 5 weeks on morning shift, and morning shift is like super busy. And I applaud all morning shifters, because they do a lot. I mean, I was doing so much that I hardly saw my patient, and I felt like I was just pushing medications and pushing insulin. And by the time I was done with all of that, it was time to go home. So it's really fast paced, and most of the time my patient wasn't even in the room, because physical therapy had them. They were going for tests, and it seemed like every 5 minutes they were getting a tray. I'm like, didn't y'all just eat? But I'm telling you, it goes by so fast during day shift, and I enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed the fact that working day shift, my days off felt like my days off. So if I have 4 days off, I had 4 days off. I can go to sleep like a regular person, wake up and be productive. But at night, but I'm used to night, that's my shift. At night, I'm a zombie for about 1 or 2 days, depending if I did 3 in a row. I'm a zombie, and my little 4 days off is not really 4, but it's actually 2. So that's like the only downside for me working night shift, but I'm so used to it. I've been working night shift for almost 10 years as a tech, so it works with my family life, and that's what I have to do for now. And I hate waking up early, maybe because I'm just used to working at night, but I'm not a morning person, so night shift is good for me. And also working night shift as a new nurse, it's a lot slower, and I have opportunities to learn and to ask questions, because when I was on day shift, I couldn't really ask the questions that I wanted. I couldn't really learn the way that I wanted to learn, and I couldn't go around and bum skills off of people because everything was just going so fast, and I felt like I was just doing what I had to do to get it done, not really understanding what I was doing. So when I came to night shift, it was a lot slower. I had a little bit more time to understand what I was doing and why I was doing it, and to learn better. So I've been on night shift now for about 6 to 7 weeks, and my orientation, I met with my educator last night, and what they want to do is cut my orientation, because they was like, girl, you ready? That you don't need it. We putting you out there. But my floor is so awesome. The teamwork on my floor is so awesome that I'm not even afraid. And I'm kind of excited because I feel comfortable. First of all, being a tech and having experience at the bedside, that cut a lot of anxiety and lack of confidence out. I'm confident in that area, no problem. But what I need to practice or to get a better understanding of now is like the doctors. I still don't know who I'm calling. I don't know who I'm calling. So I'm not asked before I call. Is this a hospitalist? Who am I calling? Am I calling the attending? Who is the person that I'm calling? Because I still don't know. And at night, we don't really call the doctor a lot unless it's like dire, or unless I have a new admission and the doctor is not a hospitalist. If the doctor is a hospitalist, for example, I just text them and say, you know what, the medication is all done. So he can go on and do his part and put it in, so I can go on and give the medication. And if I need anything else specific, I'll just text the doctor. That's what I like about texting hospitalists. But when it comes to the actual, like a doctor who isn't a hospitalist, it's like I dread it, because it's like they don't want to be bothered, but then I also have an attitude like, I don't care, because this is your job and you know you're on call for this, so what's the attitude about? And I so whatever. But night shift, that's my shift. I like it. I'm learning a lot. My preceptors, morning and night shift, they're awesome. They let me learn the way that I learn. They let me put my hands on it. They don't rush and go and try to run and do it just to get it over with. No, they let me take my time and do it. And even if I'm running out of time, they still let me learn, because they know that's how I learn, and I really do appreciate that. And one thing they taught me was, you know what, this is a 12-hour job. Don't be trying to kill yourself. Whatever you do, what you can do. And the morning shift is the same way. And that's why for the morning shift, because I know what they go through, I tell them, do what you can do. And don't feel bad because, you left something behind. Now, if it's something that the person is consistently leaving behind and always have an excuse and always can't finish, now that's a problem. But if it's like every now and then, or maybe once in the blue, okay. But not every time I get a report from you is always something. Just like being a tech. I used to hate every time I get a report from somebody, they always have an excuse to why the room is messy, why the person has not been bathed or changed, or why this and that wasn't done. And it's like, one time I got so tired of the foolishness, because usually I'll just let it go and I'm like, okay, let me just do it. But day shift usually have 4 to 5 techs. All right, so that means they probably have like 6 or 5 patients to my 10 at night, 11 sometimes. So you mean to tell me that with your 6 little patients and about 3 or 4 of them are walkie-talkies, you couldn't, you know? So it's just like of this foolishness that I was so sick and tired of. So when things like that happen, and there's always a consistent thing happening, that's when I address it and be like, okay, no, before you leave, you need to take care of that, because I'm not going to do my job in your job, and at the same time, no, we're not doing that. And I did that one time. I think I told you guys the story. I did that one time, and I wasn't doing it to be mean. I was just saying, you know, you and your nurse need to go in there and clean this person up. But anyway, what was I saying before I started ranting? Yeah, so at night, I have 5 patients. That's the most that we're going to get. If we're short, we might get 6, but the majority of the time is 4 to 5 patients. So I've been taking 5 patients. You know, we're super short now. A lot of people are leaving the bedside and working elsewhere, or they're going to the ICU. There's a lot of new grads on the floor, and what they're trying to do is split it up so that it just won't be a whole bunch of us new people working and there's nobody with experience and we all messing up and being crazy. So because they have to spread us out and spread out the travelers and all of that, and then our floor is to take away the staff and staff the other floors. That's what they do to us. They take away our staff to staff the other floors, because our floor is so is staffed properly, and the other floors aren't, or they're just short. They take away from us and they flow us a lot because we're making up for the slack for other floors. But anyway, so they cut my orientation in half. I'll be on my own next week. And what I'm learning is, okay, so say you have a preceptor. Your preceptor is teaching you the way they do certain things. So what I'm just going to give you advice about is, if your preceptor is showing you how they do things and they want you to do or chart in a certain way or chart certain things because that's how they chart, you are kind of like technically under them, kind of. So what I do, I just chart the way they want me to chart. But when I get on my own, certain things I'm not gonna do, because I looked at our requirements and what our manager said through emails and stuff, what we can and can't do, and I'm not trying to do the most. I'm gonna do enough to cover my behind, but I'm not gonna spend a lot of time doing a lot of excess and unnecessary charting, because I just don't have the time for it. I'm still trying to manage my time, and to put another load on that's unnecessary, I don't need that right now. Maybe as I become more experienced and become a little quicker with my charting, because our charting is very detailed. We use Cerner, and it's very detailed. And it's like we're charting, and it's just ridiculous. But I'm trying to cut down on my charting time and what I'm charting. So what's not necessary, I do not chart. So when I get on my own, maybe I can start implementing that and cut down on my charting and and manage my time a lot better. But because I'm under a preceptor and I'm charting the way they want me to chart, it takes me a lot longer because I'm doing all this extra stuff. Now, the stuff that I'm doing, it is good to do because it does cover me a little bit more, but sometimes I just don't have time for it. Like today, I was with another preceptor, and I didn't do all that excess charting. And my charting time went by a lot quicker. So, and also understand that sometimes when you're precepting with someone, understand that there's a million ways to do certain things. You don't always have to do it the way they do it. That's why I like when, like, if something happens with my kids and they're taking tests and I have to take them and I can't, come to work that night because I'm not technically on the schedule. I have the liberty to pick the days that I want, and I'll just go with someone who's experienced, like today. So I like going with other people besides my main preceptor so I can see how other people do it so that I can tweak my routine and make it better and more efficient for me when I'm working to make my life a lot easier. It's good to see what other people do and how they do it because I like learning from other people. I like to learn little tips and tricks and things like that. So that's my advice to you. If you have an opportunity to go precept with someone else other than your main preceptor just to get more experience and to see how other people do things, I suggest you go ahead and do that because there's more than one way to do something. What else I want to say? I think that's it, guys. I mean, overall, my experience has been good, especially working on the floor that I work. We all help each other. There's no nurses eating the young and all of that stuff. There are some nurses I noticed that when I give report to them, they have like a certain, like attitude, kind of like a superior attitude or what, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a way that they act. But then when it's time for them to give me report, it's like they are not insecure, but they don't have that aggressiveness that they had when I was giving report. You understand? And then it's like they want so much information from me when I'm giving them report. I just give the basics of, and I tell them if I didn't look something up, if it's like a test or something that's not essential, I say you can look that up yourself, because I'm not going to every test. My patient have 15 tests and 15 x-rays. I'm not giving all of that information and what it was. I'm giving the first 3, whatever is pertaining to the patient right now, not what pertained to them last month, and whatever else they want to know, I tell them that you can look it up. But this is what I have and this is what I'm giving you, because we're not doing that, because this is getting ridiculous now. So I let them know you can look that up if they have any other, because I don't have time to be digging in people's charts. I'm just learning. I still don't even know what I'm looking at or what I'm looking for, so I just give them this is what you need to know for your patient right now. And I let them know if there's anything else that you need, you can look it up. And then when you look it up, show me when I come back where to find it, because I'm new. And I let them know I'm new. Don't expect me to be doing all of this, because I'm barely making it, So sometimes I think that you have, just like being CNAs, they want to know all this extra information, and I'm like, no, come on now, you can look that up. We're not doing that right now. I know people be looking at me like, this girl is crazy, but no, some things you have to stand up for yourself and not tolerate certain things, because if you do, people are going to walk all over you. And they expect so much from you, but when it's their turn, they give you nothing. There's this guy that I work with, everyone's deathly afraid of him. And when he comes in early and he knows everything about the patient. So you might as well not just give this guy a report because he already know, right? So I've learned to just give him the basics. And if he has any questions, he can ask me and I'll be glad to give it to him. But don't let me give you something you already know. But when it's his time to give a report, he's all over the place. He's not giving me any information. And I'm like, he's going on and on about the patient and their personality and other things that is non-essential. You know, just like I was talking about before, they have this superiority attitude and they have like this aggressive attitude. But when it's their turn to give a report, it's like they switch and they become a different person. And not shy, but I don't know how to explain it, but they're not as aggressive and as forward as they were when I was given a report. Okay, so what else, guys? So I'm learning disease processes. I'm learning that I work on a PCU/Kelly floor, and I'm coming into contact with the same disease processes over and over again. And I'm learning them. I'm taking notes. I'm looking at the medications so I can anticipate what kind of medications my patient will be on. I'm looking at medications like first-time sotalol and how you got to get the EKG. And every time you give the dose, there's like I think every hour or something like that, you got to get an EKG. You have to do it like for 5 doses or something like that. But I'm learning a lot of stuff like that. And this is a medication that some of our patients are going to be on. And I have to know what to do. And there's another medication that starts with a T that does the same thing. And I have to know what to do. And I know how to put in orders. And I have to know when to put in an order, when to put in lab drawers if they're on a heparin drip and it's not therapeutic, and how I have to put in the lab drawer every hour until it is, and then titrate it down and all of that stuff. So I'm learning a lot. I'm not allowed to do drips yet, but after next week, when I start taking like the EKG, the EKG class and whatever other classes that I have to be certified in. On my floor, we are required to be certified in ACLS. So I have to do all of that, and that is scaring the crap out of me. So yeah, guys, let me stop rambling. I'm tired, and this night was a fast night. All the nights that I've been working have been going by quickly, and it's because I'm so busy. I did like dressing changes. I did like a tube feed and crushed medications and put it in the NG tube. All of that stuff that I learned in fundamentals. I bummed that off for somebody. Another nurse was doing that. I was like, let me do it. That's another thing, guys. Try to get as much experience as you can during your precept. I'm looking at the light. That's what I'm looking up. During your preceptorship, don't just wait until the day of when it's time for you to do it by yourself to go in and start doing it. Bum skills off of people. Let me put that IV in for you. Let me do that tube feeding for you if you have time. Like I had time, and even when I didn't have time, because I am orienting. So the nurse that I am with, I told her, listen, there's morning meds that we have to pass. 2 more I didn't pass, but I want to go see this. I want to do this bolus feed and let her do it, because this is your time to get as much experience as you can. You're working with another nurse. That nurse can pass the medication. That nurse can take care of the patient while you go get your experience. Don't let anybody take away your experience, and don't give up your experience. You go grab your experience, because you are going to be on your own soon. And don't be those orientees that just sit there and want to be spoon-fed, and people got to tell you what to do, and you don't take any initiative. I'm telling you, people hate that. And you don't want to be that person, because then when it's time for you to make a decision, you can't, because you have relied on other people to do it for you. So don't be that person. Don't be that person. It's not a good look, and you're just doing a lot of damage to you're hurting yourself. So yes, I went to go bum some skills off of some nurses, and I also bummed a heparin flushed from a port. We have to flush it with heparin and a flush for a PICC line. So things like that, because in a lab drawer from a PICC line. Things like that, I seek out, actively seek out people who have certain skills, are doing certain skills, so I can learn from them. And the more, with me, the more I do something, the easier it becomes. I just need to do something twice. Once to be comfortable, to know what I'm doing, but twice I got it down pat. If I do it twice, I'm good. So, you guys, go get your experience. Don't just sit there and be all scared. No, go get it. All right. So I'm almost home. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions or advice for other new nurses, you put it down in the comment section. Let us all be edified. I'll talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Thanks for watching. Bye.